Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. Let me begin by thanking our first responders who once again are stepping up for the mission on both the state level, county level, city level, towns and villages. They have been very busy already this season, and we fear that they're going to be busy for the next couple of days. It's a pleasure to be with Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, Mayor Byron Brown. We have Niagara Falls Mayor Paul Deister here, Deputy County Executive Maria White representing Erie County, Hamburg Town Supervisor Jim Shaw is our host, Thruway Commissioner Matt Driscoll. We have the State Head of Emergency Services, Michael Copey, from Department of Transportation, Pat Meredith, State Police Major Edward Kennedy, and Lieutenant Colonel Steve Heffron from who's representing the National Guard deployment also. The Mother Nature can throw us a curveball once in a while and can be a little deceptive. Today seems like a very pleasant day. The weather temperature for tomorrow is forecasted to be in the 50s. However, there's a big but, and the but is we expect very high winds and possible lake effect snow as the temperature drops from Sunday into Monday, where we expect the temperature to drop into the 20s. So today is nice and it's pleasant. Tomorrow the temperature will be fine, but we have a serious windstorm coming, and then going into Monday it can be coupled with lake effect snow. Wind in and of itself is a problem. Wind plus lake effect snow is a worse problem. The wind is forecasted to be 40 to 45 miles per hour on a sustained level, and gusts up to 75 miles per hour. That is a significant amount of wind, and that is nothing to be trifled with. I know Erie County, we're tough, we're hardy, but 75 miles an hour winds are something to be taken very, very seriously, and we are. And we're preparing for them now. With the wind comes a possibility of power outages. We are getting prepared for that possibility. We have spoken to all the utility companies. They are on notice. We've spoken to the surrounding states for additional power utility companies to send their teams, need be. And we're redeploying assets from downstate, where this storm is not really affecting the downstate area, to redeploy those teams to Western New York if we need them. There is obviously, when you have a high windstorm, trees break, poles break, and lines come down. The question is how fast it takes to restore that power. And in the past, frankly, I believe our utility companies have not done all they need to do to both get the recovery effort up and running quickly and to communicate the status to the utility customers. People understand delays. They don't understand delays when they're not given any information as to when to expect the power back. So the utility companies have promised us that they will communicate better. We have the utility crews on standby both in the state and from other states to come in and respond. I've also told the utility companies that the question now is not how they provide service when the sun is shining. That's easy. The question for utility companies now is how do you respond to these storms? And these storms now are nothing new, right? We've gone through this for several years. And we expect the utility companies to be staffed and proficient and ready to respond to these significant storms on a timely basis. They are regulated by the State Public Service Commission. We have fined them in the past, and we have threatened to revoke their license in the past. So I don't want them to take that casually. We also have instituted a empty tractor trailer ban to go into effect tomorrow morning on major roads. On the Skyway, we will have a tractor trailer ban, period, empty, full tractor trailer ban starting 10 a.m., and we will have a total closure of the Skyway starting tomorrow at noon. If the wind gusts are anywhere near as high as they're forecasting, we don't want to have vehicles on the Skyway. So noon closure for all vehicles, passenger vehicles included, 10 a.m. for any tractor trailer on the Skyway. Empty tractor trailer ban in effect on major roadways starting tomorrow, and they can be aware of that. Citizens also have a role to play here. It's common sense. If you need to get things done, anticipate a storm, anticipate a possible power outage, anticipate being stuck in your house for a couple of days. So if you have shopping to do, today is the day to do it. If you have to bring in outside furniture, things around the yard, today is the day to do it. If you have neighbors who can't get around, senior citizens, it's a good day to inquire if they need anything, if you're going to the store, that you could help them out. Today is the day to do that. We hope for the best, but we prepare for the worst, and that's what we're doing here. We have thousands of personnel on standby. We have National Guard on standby. We have hundreds of pieces of equipment that are on standby, ready to come to Western New York. The state is very good that way. Western New York has come to the rescue of downstate New York many, many times, where your first responders have gone down to Long Island or New York City or the Hudson Valley when they needed help. And the same is true in reverse. The whole state is on notice that Western New York could have a problem, and they are ready to come and be of help and assistance if need be. I want to thank the county for their assistance. I want to thank Mayor Byron Brown for the total coordination. In a situation like this, maximizing personnel, maximizing equipment, being able to work hand in glove with the city and the county and the state really makes a difference. So you don't have two crews working in the same area and other crews not attending certain parts of the city or the county. So their professionalism and their coordination has been key. We'll keep our fingers crossed. This is the forecast as they project it. The reality, as we know too well, is sometimes different, but we can only prepare based on the information we have. This is the best information we have now, and we're preparing on that information. If anything changes, we will change our plans and we will let you know. But again, common sense on everyone's part, preparedness on the part of the government officials, and then hopefully Mother Nature gives us a break, because we deserve one. With that, I turn it over to Mayor Brown. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Governor Cuomo. Certainly, we thank the governor for being back here in Erie County in Western New York with us again. I'm very pleased to be here with our governor and colleagues in government. There has been a lot of preparation for this very dangerous windstorm that we are expecting tomorrow. The city of Buffalo, Erie County, municipalities in Erie County have been on calls with the state of New York in preparation for the storm. I want to thank the governor for the equipment that he has on standby for us. Not only to thank him for the equipment that is on standby, but the equipment that has already been sent to Buffalo and Erie County. We already in our possession have generators, we have chainsaws, we have chippers, if those pieces of equipment should be needed. The governor mentioned the fact that it is forecasted that there will be wind gusts up to 75 miles per hour. That is hurricane level wind gusts, so that is to be taken very, very seriously. There has been a lot of preparation in the city of Buffalo. We have police officers that will be ready to provide traffic control if traffic signals go out in the city of Buffalo. Our Public Works Department is removing banners from street poles in all 9 councilmatic districts in the city of Buffalo to prevent those items from blowing loose and blowing around and potentially causing other problems. We will close Erie Basin Marina, LaSalle Park, Broderick Park, and Bird Island Pier to protect the safety of the public, to make sure that people are not in those areas where we will see water levels rise and ice over. We will open our Emergency Operations Center at 8 o'clock tomorrow. That will be opened by the Buffalo Fire Department. As the governor indicated, we have been in very close communications on this storm. I have spoken with Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz several times yesterday and today. We are as prepared as you can be for what Mother Nature will throw at us. And again, I thank the governor and the various state departments for the coordination and the cooperation and the collaboration they provide when we deal with these extreme weather events. Just a few recommendations for people in the community. If you have garages and you can bring your garbage and recycling totes into the garage, we ask that you do that. Please put your garbage in the garbage tote in plastic bags, your recycling in clear plastic bags in the recycling tote. If you see a power line go down or if you see a pole come down, there is a number from National Grid that you can call for power lines. The National Grid is definitely hearing that the messages that the governor has put out. They have been in constant communication with the city and with Erie County. We appreciate that. So if you should see a down power line, the number to call is 1-888-324-7119. Again, that number is 1-888-324-7119, only for downed power lines. As we always do in these extreme weather events, we take them very seriously. Our number one priority is the health and safety of the members of our community. Again, I thank the governor for his leadership, and I thank him for being with us again in Erie County. Thank you, Governor.
Any questions for myself or my colleagues? How many states? State people? Oh, we have thousands of people, state employees on standby, National Guard on standby, and then there's a process called mutual aid among the utility companies, where first among states, if Connecticut has a problem or Pennsylvania has a problem or Massachusetts has a problem, we will send our utility crews to help those other states. They do the same, and those other states have already been notified that we may need their utility crews to come to New York. We have brought in thousands of power crews from other states in situations like this. We also have emergency workers from across our state who are on standby to come up to help. The one piece of good news in this is it's not a statewide storm. It's primarily western New York moving up towards the Watertown area. So the other governments also have in effect a mutual aid pact where they will send up their crews and their teams. When we had 7 feet of snow in Buffalo, we had crews from all across the state that came up. We had New York firefighters who came up. So we've already contacted all the local governments. They're ready to send up their crews. Other states are ready to send in their power crews depending on the need. Now again, you know, we can only plan based on the forecast. The reality is often different than the forecast, sometimes better, sometimes worse. But 75 mile per hour winds are hurricane force winds. You will have trees and poles and physical structures damaged. When that happens, you will have power lines coming down. Depending on how much damage we sustain, that's how many crews we will deploy. Maybe we get lucky, but maybe we don't.
Governor, a couple of years ago, you initiated the New York State Estimate System in 2014. How do you think that's going to help in this storm event? And is it going to allow you to be able to place resources in certain areas?
Yes, that system works very well. It gives you more localized information. It's especially helpful in flooding situations. These are basically locally placed weather stations that beam information up to a satellite. In a flooding situation, they're especially helpful because they track the increase in a stream's velocity and depth. So you can tell when smaller streams are getting larger, when they're swelling, that you could have a flooding problem further down. They're also very good at detecting wind speed. But once you have a forecast that says we're anticipating 75 mile per hour winds, you know, you don't really need any more additional information to prepare. If it's 70 or 75 or 76 or 69, you have trouble anyway. So the specificity is not really going to be that much of an issue. We know we have a projected serious weather situation.
Governor, last time you were here, there was trouble with the van on the tractor trailer during the snow. You were out on the freeway and electronics and truck drivers and stuff. Any concerns this time with at least a partial tractor trailer ban and how that would be produced?
Well, we do have, this is a partial ban. It's for empty tractor trailers, except for the Skyway, 10 a.m. tomorrow, total tractor trailer ban, noon, passenger cars. It was annoying. We had communicated the tractor trailer ban for days before the event. We talked to all the drivers associations, the motor carrier associations. We had signs up at every entrance. I understand that if you're a trucker, your income depends on driving the truck. I get it. And I get that they don't like to be stopped at a border and they don't like to sit in a rest area. I understand that also. But my number one concern is public safety. And when a tractor trailer is involved in an accident, it causes a tremendous delay and really puts human life at risk. And I have personally seen that situation too many times. And a tractor trailer, when it jackknifes or it creates an accident, you're talking of about hours of delay, an entire road closed, multiple pieces of equipment that have to get there to fix it, tens of people who now have to endanger themselves to get to that scene, and the risk wholly outweighs the reward. I understand their individual need to drive that truck to make their money. I get it. But that pales in comparison to the public risk. And if they flagrantly violate the law, they're going to be penalized. And the state police made that clear last time, and I make it doubly clear this time. If you violate the ban, ignorance is not a defense. You can't say, I didn't know. There will be signs everywhere. And what it says is you're putting your self-interest above the public interest. And nobody has a right to do that. And we have stiffened the penalties for violating that ban. And it's serious, and you could lose your license. And even from their own self-interest, the risk outweighs the reward, because if a trucker loses his or her license, that's it for the entire income stream. We'll see how the weather, depending on weather, right? We'll close it at noon, and then Matt Driscoll, the Thruway Authority, Michael Copey, head of emergency services, will be monitoring it, and depending on the weather, we'll make that decision. Hopefully, yes, but weather dependent.
Mayor Brown mentioned garbage trucks and sorting. Can we anticipate garbage pickup will be delayed?
Right now, garbage pickup is scheduled for Monday. We're asking people not to put garbage or recycling out until Monday morning. If it was put out on Sunday, there's the great potential that the totes, that the cans will be blown over and garbage will be strewn throughout the street. So we're asking people not to put garbage out whose garbage will be collected on Monday. Don't put it out until Monday morning. Don't put your recycling out until Monday morning. We do anticipate picking up on Monday as scheduled.
Also, Mayor, for people who normally in the city have to park on the street because they don't have regular parking space, are there alternatives for them, or at least some initiatives consideration?
Right now, if you only have street parking, there is no alternative that we have to the type of parking that people usually follow. We are recommending that people be very careful where they park their vehicles on the street. Because of the high winds, there is a great potential that tree limbs will come down. In some cases, we expect that trees will come down. So we're asking people to really exercise caution where they park their vehicles. Yes, our Department of Community Services will be opening warming shelters in the event that there are power outages in the city of Buffalo, and that power is out for a sustained period of time and people have to get to locations where they can find some shelter. We will be providing those locations to the media. They are our normal warming centers that we open when we're dealing with extreme cold.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. And thank all our first responders very much.